Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain what is the Taylor and Maclaurin series. Now first of all, what is the Taylor series? To define Taylor series, now just see what we are given a power series of the form Cn into x minus a to the power n. So when you put n to be 0, you will get this is C naught. N to be 1, you will get this is C1 into x minus a plus C2 into x minus a whole square and so on, plus Cn into x minus a to the power n and so on. So you are having the power series with C0, C1, C2, C3, Cn. They are constants, and this is a power series about the center A. So here A is the center. Now what is given to us, that we are given that this is a power series. Given that this power series is convergent over the interval a minus r to play a plus r, where this r is the radius of convergence, right? So what is given to us, we are given that we are having a power series about the center A. Given that this series is convergent over the interval a minus r to a plus r. Now if it is convergent, then clearly it converges to some function of x, right? So given that this is a power series which is converging to fx over this interval, and if the all higher order derivatives of this function exist in this interval, if all these higher order derivative exist in the interval a minus r to a plus r, means first derivative, second derivative, third derivative and so on, nth derivative, all the higher order derivative if exist of this function in the interval a minus r to a plus r, then by term differentiation theorem we know that term by term differentiation theorem, what we know that if you take term by term derivative of the right hand side, it will converging to the derivative of this function. So what is the derivative of c0 plus c1 into x minus a plus c2 into x minus a whole square and so on? So when you find its derivative, you will get this is c1 plus 2 into c2 into x minus a plus 3 into c3 into x minus a whole square and so on, n into cn x minus a to the power n minus 1 and so on. So when you take term by term derivative of the equation 1, it will be converging to the derivative of the function over the same interval a minus r to a plus r. This is by the theorem term by term differentiation theorem. So we are having a new power series which is converging to the derivative of the function. Again we can generate a new power series. So if you take the term by term derivative of this equation, so what will you have? You have 2 plus c2, then 6c3 into x minus a plus, then you have and so on. If you take the derivative of this, you will have n into n minus 1 into cn into x minus a to the power n minus 2 and so on. So again you are having a new power series by taking term by term derivative of the previous one, and it converges to the second derivative of the function. The same way, when you take the term by term derivative of this above, you will have 6c3 plus next you will have 12c4 x minus a, sorry, you will have this is 24 c4 x minus a and so on, n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into x minus a to the power n minus 3 and so on. So this will be the third derivative of this function. right? So it is converging to the third derivative of this function, and so on. So we are having, after taking term by term derivative, we are having new power series, and each power series is convergent over the same interval to the derivative of the function. Now, since all these functions are defined over this interval, so we can find out the value of this over the point A. So we can substitute x to be a in equation 1, in equation 2, in equation 3, in equation 4, and so on, and we can find out the value of these constants, right? Now just see, in equation 1, if you put x to be a, what will you have? You will have c0 plus c1 into 0 plus c2 into 0, and so on. So we'll get the value of c0, which is f at a. So when you put x to be a in equation 1, what you will have? You will have the value of c0 is nothing but f at a. Similarly, from here, when you put x to be a, so when you put x to be a in this equation, what will you have? You have c1 is equal to the derivative of the function at a. All these terms will be 0, right? When you put x to be a in this equation, what will you have? You have 2 times c2 is the second derivative of the function at a, which implies your c2 is double derivative of the a over 2 factorial. 2 can be written as 2 factorial, right? From this, in the same way, you can find out the value of c3. It will comes out to be third derivative of the function at a divided by 6 means 3 factorial, and so on. So in general, your cn will be the nth derivative of the function at a divided by n factorial, and so on. So whenever your function and its higher order derivative exist over this interval, we can find out the values of these constant. We can find out c0, c1, c2, c3, until up to cn, and we can substitute these values in equation 1, and after substituting in equation 1, we will get the Taylor series of the function at the center a. So now just see, when you put c0, you will have, this is f at a, this is f dash at a, this is f double dash at a by 2 factorial, this is nth derivative of the function at a by n factorial. So what is the Taylor series? So the Taylor series generated by the function fx at x is equal to a is given by fx is equal to c0 is f at a, then plus x minus a into c1. c1 is f dash at a plus x minus a whole square into c2. c2 is f double prime at a upon 2 factorial. The next is f triple derivative at a upon 3 factorial into x minus a whole cube, and so on. The nth term is nth derivative of the function at a divided by n factorial into x minus a to the power n, and so on. So this is the Taylor series generated by this function at a point x is equal to a. Now for example, obtain the Taylor series of the function fx is equal to 1 over x at a is equal to 2. Now just see, what is given to you? Fx is 1 over x, a is 2. Now find its higher order derivative. Since this function is differentiable, we can find out the higher order derivatives. And so on. If you see, what will be its nth derivative? When you take the first derivative, it is minus 1 upon x square. Second derivative, it's plus 2 upon x cube. So here it is 2, here it is 2 factorial, here it is 3, it is 3 factorial with minus sign upon x to the power 4. So it will be minus 1 to the power n n factorial upon x to the power n plus 1. So this is the nth derivative of this function. Now find out these values at a. What is the value of the function at 2? It is half. The value of the function, the first derivative of the function at 2 will be minus 1 by 2 square. Second derivative of the function will be 2 upon 2 cube. The third derivative of the function at 2 will be minus 6 upon 2 to the power 4, and so on. The nth derivative of the function at 2, it will be minus 1 to the power n factorial upon 2 to the power n plus 1, and so on. So now we can write down the Taylor series. The Taylor series generated by fx at a is equal to 2 is given by fx is equal to f at a plus x minus a into f dash at a plus x minus a whole square f double prime at a by 2 factorial, and so on. So now you just substitute the value of f at a, it is half. Now you substitute the value f dash at a, it is minus 1 by 2 square with minus sign. The next term is positive, it is x minus a whole square divided by 2 factorial into 2 upon 2 cube, and so on. So this is the Taylor series generated by this function at a is equal to 2. Right? Now what is the Maclaurin series? Maclaurin series is a particular case of the Taylor series. In Maclaurin series, we consider the center to be 0. We consider the point A to be 0. So what is the form of Maclaurin series? It is given by fx is equal to f at 0, not at a, because here a is 0, so we put a to be 0, into x minus a, again a is 0, so we left x, f prime 0, then x square by 2 factorial into f double prime at 0 plus x cube by 3 factorial into f triple derivative at 0, and so on. And so on. So this is the Maclaurin series generated by this function. So Maclaurin series generated by this function means the Taylor series of the function at a point 0. Now for example, find out the Maclaurin series of the function e to the power x. Now just see what is given to us. The function is e to the power x. We can find its derivative. It's again e to the power x. We can find second derivative is again e to the power x. Third derivative, it is again e to the power x, and so on. Now we can find out its value at 0. The value of the function at 0 is 1. Its derivative is 1. Its second derivative is 1. Third derivative is 1, and so on. So what is the Maclaurin series generated by f? This is fx, which is e to the power x, is equal to f at 0 plus x f dash at 0 plus x square by 2 factorial f double prime at 0, and so on. Now you can substitute the values. What is f at 0? It is 1. What is f prime at 0? It is again 1. Double prime, it is again 1. Right? And what is our fx? It is e to the power x. So this is an expansion of e to the power x. So this is a Maclaurin series of e to the power x. It's 1 plus x square by 2 factorial, and so on. Now just see one more question. Find out the Maclaurin series of fx is equal to x into sine x. Now just see, we can consider fx as sin x, x into sin x. We can find its derivative, or we can take another function gx as sin x. We can find out the Maclaurin series for sin x. What is the first derivative of sin x? It is cos x. Second derivative is minus sin x. Third derivative is cos x with minus sign. Fourth derivative is sin x. Fifth derivative is cos x. Sixth derivative is minus sin x, and so on. Now what are the values of the function at 0? g0 is sine 0 0, g prime at 0 it's 1, g double prime at 0 it's 0, g triple prime at 0 is minus 1, fourth derivative at 0 is 0, fifth derivative at 0 is 1, and so on. So what is the Maclaurin series generated by g? So this is given by gx is equal to g at 0 plus x into g dash at 0 plus x square by 2 factorial into g double prime at 0 plus x cube by 3 factorial g third derivative at 0, and so on. So when we substitute gx is sin x, g at 0 is 0, g at g dash at 0 is 1. Now this is 0, this is minus 1, and so on. So what is the Maclaurin series for sin x? It is x minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x5 by 5 factorial, and so on. But we need to find out the Maclaurin series for this function. So what is the Maclaurin series generated by fx, which is x times gx, will be x times x minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x5 by 5 factorial, and so on. So this is the Maclaurin series of the function x into gx. You can calculate f dash x, f double dash x, f triple dash x, and then you can find out its value at 0, and then you can substitute in the formula, and then you can get the value of this Maclaurin series generated by this function. Or you can split into 2. You can consider this as a new function gx. You can find out the Maclaurin series for this, and then you can multiply by x. Now just see one more example. Find out the Maclaurin series of fx is equal to cos square x. Now here our fx is cos square x, which can be written as 1 plus cos 2x by 2. So we can consider this to be as function. So let gx be cos x. We can find out the Maclaurin series for cos x. It will be minus sin x, then double prime, it's minus cos x, then sin x, then cos x, fifth derivative is minus sin x, sixth derivative is cos x with minus sign, and so on. So we can find out its values at 0. It's 1, g dash 0 is 0, double 0 is minus 1, 0 is plus 1, is minus 1 and so on. So we can write down the Maclaurin series generated by gx is equal to cos x, which comes out to be f at 0, which is 1, then 0, then minus x square by 2 factorial, then x4 by 4 factorial, and so on. So this is a Maclaurin series generated by the function cos x. So when we replace x with 2x, we will have the Maclaurin series for cos 2x, and so on. So this is the Maclaurin series. And so on. So this is 1 minus 2x square plus 2 into x to the power 4 by 3, and so on. So this is a Maclaurin series of cos 2x. Now we can substitute the value of cos 2x over here. We will get the Maclaurin series for cos square x. So now you can simplify this and you will have the Maclaurin series for cos square x. So in this way we can find out the Maclaurin series or Taylor series of the function.